New Quinnipiac poll, bit of a disaster for President Obama. They asked, who's the worst president since World War II? Here it comes. 33% of people say it's Barack Obama. Oh, no! He's beating George W. Bush, who's at 28%, and Nixon, who's at 13%. Really, Obama's worse than Nixon. He's worse than Bush. Do you remember who George W. Bush is? See, there's a saying in Texas, maybe one in Tennessee, too. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, can't get fooled again. That guy's better than Obama? Look, I got 100 different problems with Obama, but there's no way he's worse than Bush. Look, this is, of course, biased in the sense that whoever's president gets all the heat, right? And I'll get to a specific fact on that in a second. So President Obama's in charge now, so you got a lot of, especially Republicans, say, Obama's the worst ever. He's the worst American president, he's the worst Kenyan president, right? So obviously a huge part of that is this. Now, when you go to best presidents, it's almost a little more disappointing. Best president since World War II, 35%. Ronald frickin' Gipper Reagan. 18% Bill Clinton, 15% John Kennedy. Come on. If you took his name off of it and you say there's this guy running in the Republican primaries and he already did amnesty for 10 million illegal immigrants, he traded arms for hostages with the Iranians and the Islamic Jihad, we got attacked in Lebanon and he ran. I mean, I can go on and on. They would despise that guy. They're the weakest, most sorry-ass, liberal, pussy, weak president. Who is it? Ronald Reagan. What's it on? This shows you the power of propaganda. Republicans over and over again, Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan. And then 35% of Americans say Ronald Reagan. Best, right? It's amazing. Okay. Now, the silver lining for President Obama. If Obama's looking for a silver lining, Mediaite explains, it's that at this point of his presidency, Bush far outpaced his competitors for worst, beating second place by 16 percentage points. So when Bush was in office, he was more hated than Obama is today when he's in office. If I was President Obama, I wouldn't love that silver lining. I mean, you want to talk about damning with faint praise. You're a little better than the guy who we thought was a little challenged. Okay, so you can do better than that. But look, it's also partly the attacks on President Obama and the polarization. Some attacks are well merited, and then you've got all the stupid Benghazi, and he eats his burger with mustard, and he wears the wrong pants, and he golfs too much, and IRS, and Vultramax, and Solyndra, and Sandra Fluck, right? So propaganda works, unfortunately. We're trying to combat it with the truth here. The truth doesn't serve Barack Obama altogether that well either, but he's certainly not worse than George W. Bush, and certainly not worse than Richard Nixon.